How much sleep is enough sleep?
So, sleep needs on average for adults, so I think that's adults age 18 to 64, is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. Now, importantly, that doesn't mean that it's your choice whether or not you get 7 or 8 or 9 hours. It means that how much your body needs is somewhere in that range. There are some exceptions. There are some people who will fall outside of that range. That is beyond my area of expertise, who that might be. The vast majority of people are gonna need somewhere in that, and, it can be really a little bit tricky to figure out what your exact sleep needs are within that range, but ideally, you would go to bed with enough time to get that full 9 hours of sleep before you have to get up in the morning, and that's 9 hours or 7 to 9 hours of total sleep, not time in bed. So, we tend to overestimate how much sleep we're actually getting by different amounts depending on how much, like, the less sleep we get, the more likely we are to overestimate by a larger number. So, we tend to think, "Oh, yeah, I got into bed, I turned out the light at 10 PM, my alarm went off at 6, I must have gotten 8 hours sleep." But actually, you maybe got 7 and a half, because total sleep takes off the amount of time it takes you to fall asleep, as well as any sort of brief arousals during the night, which is totally normal every time you complete a sleep cycle to maybe wake up a little bit. So that when you take off those times, that's your total sleep. And our total sleep needs are between 7 and 9 hours. So maybe try going to bed with 9.5 hours before your alarm goes off in the morning. I understand that is not something that fits with a lot of people's schedules. That can be really, really challenging just to like figure out how that's gonna work in your life. So maybe inch up to that. You can approach it from the other end as well. But just see once you've sort of caught up on your sleep debt, so after a couple of weeks, what time is your body sort of naturally waking up? You will start naturally waking up after having the amount of sleep that is your particular sleep need, and then you can figure out how to adjust your bedtime so that you get that amount of sleep, before your alarm goes off in the morning, and that way, ideally, you have your alarm just as a backup, but it's, set for what time your body sort of naturally wants to get up at. So, the answer is somewhere between 7 to 9, but not to say that 7 to 9 is I can choose for me that it's 7, or I can choose for me that it's 9. It's more that you lie somewhere in that range, and you sort of figure that out by experimenting and seeing what your body likes day after day.